Okay, so welcome everybody to Music Eye. This is Sara Vian, and today I have Kevin Brown. Very warm welcome, Kevin.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. It's an honour and a privilege to be talking to you.
Oh, thank you, you charmer. Are you talking to me from Box at the moment?
Yes, from very close to Peter Gabriel's studios down Mill Lane. And that's been a great bonus to moving to this beautiful village, you know, to have this network of musicians and producers and engineers that all kind of live in the village, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, isn't it? Because I go to the Stum nights sometimes at the Queen's Head, and
Yes.
I really rate that, actually. It's a little music scene, isn't it?
Well, isn't that amazing that in a village this size we have a live music event that live streams their shows. We have a pop-up theatre, we have a great post office, we have a wonderful playing fields. It's and all different kinds of people, you know, from different walks of life.
And a festival as well, don't you?
We have events on the playing fields, like community events.
Box Rocks, is it?
Yes, so that's and that's Dean at the Queen's, who does that every year to raise money for it. It's a great village to live in. I highly recommend it. I've been here for 12 years, and I've been very, very happy here.
Yeah.
Great people. Yeah. We all meet, you know, we all meet in the co-op and sort of
learn
how to get along with each other.
Yeah. So you're originally from Lancashire, yeah?
Apparently, yes, according to my
According to your mum.
my birth certificate.
But yeah. Okay, but so I'm reading your bio basically, and after listening to Muddy Waters, you decided that you wanted to be a bluesman. Can you just tell us a bit about yourself and your background?
Well, I was born son of a signwriter and a school teacher. And I think when I was 10 years old, I discovered the guitar, and that became I was totally preoccupied and obsessed, really, which sadly meant I failed my O-levels, not my 11 plus, but by hook or by crook, my parents managed to get me to the grammar school in Blackburn. But by which time I was totally engrossed in the guitar, having heard Muddy Waters in 1964. So by the time my O-levels came, I failed all of those, much to the disappointment of my family, because I was the only child, so there was quite a lot of pressure on. But my guitar playing was improving, but at the expense of my academic career, really. So then I went to night school, did my O-levels again, and that enabled me to go to art college in Preston, which led me then to a teachers training college at Dartington Hall in Devon, and I actually ended up teaching drawing and painting in Ealing and London until 1978, and that's when I thought, well, I can't stay here for the rest of my life, you know. So I decided to up sticks, begin a new life, and move to this part of the world where I already knew quite a few people, and that's when my music career really started, 1978.
So you had a good foundation and a sensible job, and then you decided to sort of live the dream a bit more, did you? Or
yeah, exactly. I think I knew that's what I had to do. You know, I mean, my parents had just spent so much time and energy and effort, you know, into, because that's how it was in those days. Parents wanted their children to do well. They wanted their children to have a better life than they had. You know, my dad was in the Royal Navy, mum was a secretary, so it was a huge blow, actually, to be honest with you. But I rectified it, and I was very proud to become a school teacher. It felt good. But after 5 years, I thought, right, I've achieved that. Now it's time to get stuck into music. Yeah.
Brilliant. And what age were you?
Okay. So when I came to this area, I was 28 when I began my musical career. I'd been in Bath a year. I recorded 3 songs as demo tapes, and I literally walked around London with cassette tapes and knocking on doors. And the second door I knocked on Nigel Grange at Ensign Records, who just had a big hit with the Boomtown Rats. They signed me up. So I was really lucky. It didn't take long, you know. But
Oh,
I did
exciting!
Yeah, it was amazingly exciting. Yeah.
So was that around the time that you were busking in Portobello Road?
Okay, so Portobello Road was about 10 years earlier.
Oh, okay, right.
Well, I was still living in Preston, and I don't think I'd moved down to Dottington Hall then. So I was still hitching up and down the M6, you know, for my Sunday education, not only in Portobello Road, but also at Studio 51, Ken Collier's old club. And that's where I discovered Sammy Mitchell and Brett Morgan and the Thunderbolts. And Sammy took me under his wing and taught me a lot. You know, Sammy Mitchell, what a huge icon in the world of great British slide guitar players.
And what about Sunhouse? You had a really bizarre encounter with Sunhouse, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. So Saturday nights in Lancashire and Preston were spent with me in my front room in Bamber Bridge. And that was where the Stereogram was, and I had my record collection there. Saturday nights, well, as many nights, I'd just sit and try and get my head around these country blues artists, which had become my friends, really. You know, I felt they were talking to me, and I felt they were relating to me. I understood what they were saying. Sunhouse was one of these people I was desperately trying to learn some of his material. On one of my journeys down to Portobello Road, I was busking, and along came a guy and said, do you know any songs by Sunhouse? And I said, I'm really sorry, but I'm desperately trying to learn his material at the moment, you know, but it's tough because he's so idiosyncratic. And at that moment, guess who walked through the crowd with an outstretched hand but Sunhouse himself?
Wow.
And the man that was talking to me was Dick Waterman, who was his manager. And he went on to manage Bonnie Raitt and John Lee, Skip James. So they could see my jaw drop and my eyes wet. So they invited me to spend some time with them. And eventually, during that day, Dick left me alone with Sunhouse. And it was in that period, those moments, that I received his wisdom and his teachings, and he mentored me right there and then. And to this day on, everything I do stems back to those moments that I spent with him and the words that he had to offer and the advice he gave. And it was two things, basically. It was, you've got to have rhythm in your material, otherwise people, because his history, his lineage stemmed from entertaining people at juke joints, keeping them dancing all night. So he was very used to that, that part of the equation. So rhythm, I started to look at, and he said, don't try and rap your songs. He said the song is important. It's the song that's not the slide playing. So start to concentrate on the songs. Start writing your own songs, and add your slide guitar to that. So here we are today, with my rhythmical, musical songs.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're basically, it's great that you're writing your own stuff, isn't it? And you're not just copying people. You're carving out your own road. And I mean, I was reading in your bio that he said he taught you about the emotional power of simple words. I really liked that, actually. Can you elaborate on that? Or
I think he was speaking from experience. If you look at his songs of Robert Johnson and Charlie Patton, they're social documents of the time, and when they were out there performing to the people of Mississippi, they had to be understood. So everything was very simple. The message was just drilled home and home, just drilled through with simplicity in a language that they could understand. And I think that's what I meant by that. Sarah.
Yeah, excellent, actually. Yeah, because you then moved to Austin, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to Austin. I just knew that I had to leave. I had to go. So I was 20, maybe I was 30 by this time. I'd been in Bath a couple of years. And it was a dream that I'd long held close to my heart. And I was in a financial situation where having sold my car, my 4-track tape recorder, my Martin D35, I just sold everything and to start a new life. And I bought a plane ticket. I landed in Boston. That wasn't for me. I went to Boston because I think Bonnie Raitt was hanging out there at the time. So I just hitchhiked around America looking for my dream, and I found it in Austin. I found it in Texas, definitely. And when I got to Austin, I just jumped for joy. I knew that this was the place for me because there's so much different music there, with different lineages, different histories. The cowboys, the jazz, the swing, the blues, the Mexicana. And the food was the same. The food was just this amazing mixture of cultures. Austin then, in the early 80s, was a cultural delight. And you could see and feel and eat all these different flavors, And also, that was when I hung out with some really good songwriters, and that was such an education for me. Townes Van Zandt, Jimmy Dale Gilmore, and Butch Hancock. We were doing gigs together, and well, you can imagine, it's 30 years hanging out with these guys, learning about songwriting. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. I mean, so let's tell the people a little bit about the fact that you're currently releasing a vinyl release available on other formats as well, isn't it? So it's your 14th album, 6 Strings and a Dream. Tell us a bit about that. Can you remember?
There's so much to talk about.
Well, it's essentially about your adventures in Clarksdale, isn't it?
Well, very much so. After growing up, being inspired by these amazing stories and these emotional outbursts by these people who, the lucky ones were the musicians. They were the lucky ones that had a road out of there, which enabled them to start a new life, in Chicago or Memphis or New York. And 4 years ago, I went on a mission and to pay my respects, and it was a kind of a pilgrimage. And I knew that Muddy Waters was born there, John Lee Hooker was born there, Sunhouse was born there, who I met. So that was where I headed, and once I got there, I realised that it was a central hub of all this really important historical information and the timelines all kind of, Charlie Patton visited there, Willie Brown hung out there, and I could feel it. And there was nothing else I could do but to start writing. So I found this wonderful place to hang out in an old boathouse at the Shack Up Inn, and they were so cool to me, those people. They gave me a truck, somewhere to live, and an opportunity to play in front of their audiences at night. And that's how my Clarksdale dream began. And I'd go back each year, back to the boathouse and soak up the atmosphere and learn. So many people there have some great information. It's a lot of historians wandering around Clarksdale and some great musicians. So everywhere I go, I learn. Everywhere. I just ask questions and discover what I can. And then, so that helps my songwriting. That's where they come from.
Yeah, so brilliant. So you've just released this on Monday. I believe. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we had the vinyl launch on Monday.
Yeah.
And I'd say about 40 or 50% of the record was inspired by Clarksdale and written in the Bolthouse. And the rest of the songs I took with me to finish. So I finished them all in Clarksdale as well, you know, with the help of the inspiration that I was receiving whilst I was there. So it is very, very much a Clarksdale-centered record. Although there's only like 3 real bluesy tracks on it, because I'm a writer. The beauty of being a songwriter is that you can do anything you want. You can write, you can do it. If you want to, you know, do a Hawaiian song, yeah, fine. Blues, yeah, fine. And I'm not at the, you know, I'm not being controlled by a record label. I have my own label, so I have complete freedom, totally.
Yeah.
And that has been a great privilege in life. Hard work though, hard work doing stuff.
Yeah. Would you say that you're loosely Americana with flavors of the Caribbean, India, and Hawaii, though?
Yeah, I think that's good. I like that very, very much.
Yeah, it was on your bio. Yeah, because I always compare you with JJ Cale because you've got a really nice mellow vibe. I just imagine, you know, if we're on the beach, you know, let's hire you to come and create the atmosphere sort of thing. Really nice summery mellow kind of vibe. Would you agree with that? Or
holy.
Yeah, with an H.
Completely. Yeah, completely. To now be releasing this record that people play and feel benefit from. It's like another level of something that you can give, you know.
Yeah.
And it feels wonderful. It reminds, when I first saw Muddy Waters in 1964 in my living room in Bamber Bridge, if you can imagine, I'd never seen anything like it on the telly. He wasn't there himself. He was on the telly. But I'll never ever forget the feeling that and my bones. And I remember saying to myself, my God, if I could make people feel like he's making me feel now, I wouldn't want for anything more in life. And for you to say that, that, you know, you can imagine being somewhere and listening to this to enhance your feeling. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I think this is why musicians are so important, you know, because the music industry is obviously, you know, limping along in poverty, isn't it? Or selling its soul to the devils, one way or the other. And I just think, you know, good music played in the right spirit can, you know, just restore us to a sense of well-being and bring peace. And, you know, it's quite powerful, really, isn't it? And it matters. Yeah. So, okay, so you're launching a few videos as well. You launched one on Monday, didn't you?
We did. Shadows on the Wall.
Yeah. And so these are all sort of created and directed by Christophe Goffet, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. I met Christophe, I was busking outside the Cathead stores in Clarksdale. Amazing place, as is every other place in Clarksdale. And he was on the other side of the street, and he cocked his ear up, and he was with a friend of his. He turned out to be his son, and they came over, and he looked at me, and he says, "I know you." He said, and apparently he used to review my really early albums because he edited a blues magazine in France. So that created an instant connection, and he was a photographer, a filmmaker. He was in Clarksdale for a few weeks, and we got talking, and yeah, he shot these 3 films that we're about to release on Facebook and YouTube. We released the title track Clarksdale, which is one of my favourite songs on the record. That was a difficult song to write without without overdoing things, but I'm really pleased with the way it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday the July, we have, he happened to be with me when I had this amazing encounter with an Afro-American odd job man who lived in Clarksdale, and I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's so moving and inspiring. He just sat and spoke, and I had my guitar with me, and I played Amazing Grace as he was, and it just turned out to be this wonderful the train of thoughts that he was coming out with about today and society and how we can help each other and how we should treat each other. So that fitted in perfectly with. And then Friday, the 10th of July, apparently, we'll see how it transpires. I'm playing at the Chapel Arts Centre in Bath with my band, the Shack Dusters, who are so cool, who have been with me for a long time now. Yeah, so.
All right, so let's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you do something online if that doesn't go ahead?
Oh yeah. I think by that time we will. I'm really looking forward to doing live streams with the band. You know, with us all playing together, not editing together afterwards. So yeah, if we don't do the live gig, we'll definitely do the live stream.
Yeah.
So much, you know. Okay. That's Handler on drums, Duncan Kingston on bass, and Massimo Merighi from Sicily on Hammond organ. Yeah.
Great. And we just need to squeeze in that you've got a connection with Mark Knopfler as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you play on one of his albums or something?
I did. I played on his solo album. He disbanded Dire Straits. And he wanted to go totally his own direction, and so for his first project, he organised 3 bands: one in Nashville, one in London, and one in Dublin, or it might have been Belfast. And he recorded virtually almost the same material in each location. Okay, so I was in his band for the London recordings. He discovered me through an album called Time Marches On, and he liked what he heard. And in fact, he employed 1 or 2 musicians off that record once we all got together. So that's how I got to meet him. And but sadly, he chose, for his first album, he chose the recordings that he'd made in Dublin and Nashville. And one of the recordings I made with him appeared on the B-side of his first single. Yeah. But what an experience that was, you know, Air Studios for a week. With Paul Carrack and Nick Lowe. Yeah, it was, and him, of course. You know.
Fantastic. What an inspiration. So just briefly then, if people want to find out more about you, it's kevinbrownsings.com, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, and you're on Facebook and YouTube and everything. And are you doing a regular live session on Facebook currently? Is that Sunday nights or something?
From my Kevin Brown Musician Facebook page.
Yeah.
Every Sunday at 6 o'clock. I've been doing now for 2 months nearly. So we'll build up a nice following, and we have a great time. You know, I just play what I feel appropriate for the moment, because things happen during the day and during the week, you know, that you like to talk about. And I'll tell you what it's done, Sarah. It's enabled me to go through my back catalogue and relearn how to sing songs, because otherwise I was going to run out of material. So I've had to, and that's been revisiting songs that I wrote 30 years ago, but still feeling good about singing them now. It was good for my confidence, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's brilliant, Kevin. You're a real inspiration. I think the message is, you know, just to kind of get in touch with, you know, what we're passionate about and dare to step out, isn't it, really? I mean, have you got any advice for people who are sort of coming up behind you, sort of thing?
I think just do what you know. Do what you know. There was something else.
Yeah.
You know, just follow. Do what you know. do it to the best of your ability,
Mm.
and know your icons, and the people that inspire you, and try and figure out why they inspire you. Is it their musicianship? Is it their voice? Is it their songwriting? You know, look at the three things that you have: your ability to play and accompany yourself. Are you doing that to, your voice and the content of your material? All those are three completely separate things, and all need working on all the time. And, do what you know, and enjoy yourself. Yeah, and connect, because of the people that you respect and are inspired by. You have those feelings because they've connected with you. That is the secret. That's the secret. Yeah, that's the big one. The connection.
Yeah. Okay, that's really great. I'm really pleased that you've come to talk to us on Music High, and I shall look out for your videos.
May I just say, Sarah, that I also enjoyed your performance.
Oh, great!
On Radio Arts that comes out of Frome. You
Yeah.
sat there on. Yeah, I watched that, and I was really impressed.
What, presenting or singing?
You were singing a song.
Oh, right. That was actually before I went to America, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a connection with America, and I was kind of thinking that, they need the musicians right now, because, to me, it's their music scene that makes America great, isn't it? And it'd be great if they could get some kind of, something going on like Woodstock. But better.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. I'm going to get told off for going on for too long. But okay, so where was the album produced?
We recorded it in Frome, in fact. Your hometown.
Yeah.
I was introduced 2 years ago to a young man in Box at the Queen's at an event, and we got talking, and we were going, oh yeah, I like that too. Oh yeah, I've got one of those guitars. And his name is Sebastian Bryce, and he invited me around to his studio because it just sounded so interesting, and I really liked what I saw there. I loved his equipment. He's totally digital, but he's got an analog brain, and he's got an amazing pair of ears. So that's where I decided to make the record. And he literally sat in the middle of the room at his desk, and we just sat around him playing, no headphones, just playing live. And he was there with us, And that's why one of the reasons why the record sounds so great, because of his attention to detail, his listening ability, and the way in which he could help move things forward. And that is, his studio is called Indefra Studios, and his name is Sebastian Bryce.
Brilliant.
Highly recommend it.
So touch with the spirit of Frome then. Brilliant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a great name for a record, isn't it?
Yeah, we have got a very interesting spirit here, actually.